Today we are talking about the Urban Decay Naked Smoky palette.
Smoky, 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 smoky.
Okay. Anyway, a lot of beauty YouTubers, everyone's doing this right now, so we thought we would give you our over 42 cents worth today.
Because we look different. It'll look different on over 40 than 23.
Okay, I'll give you that. All right. Beautiful palette. We purchased ours at Sephora. They are $54. We got ours at Sephora, but you can get them online
At UrbanDecay.com.
Urban Decay, and any place that sells Urban Decay, you can get this for $54. There are 12 shades in the palette, and there's a mix of matte, satin, and shimmer, which you can get a complete look out of this palette. So let's take a little look.
In fact, we have two different looks.
We do have two different
already
looks today
from the same palette.
And we didn't use anything other than the palette.
Right.
So not to blind you, but
it's okay.
It is a beautiful palette. The case is see, did you hear it click?
Yeah, I heard it click.
Hear it click. It's plastic. It's a hard case. It snaps closed. This would be really good, I think, for travel. And I think you can take this palette and get a complete look using only this palette.
Yes.
So today I came over to Holly's house and only had my face makeup done, which is weird.
Yeah.
Like driving over here, I kept looking in the rearview mirror. I'm like,
I'm
where's
missing
your face?
something.
Right. And we are sharing this palette, obviously. And so I created a look using warmer colors, browns and golds, and then gave it to Holly. And you created a look.
I used all the silvers. I definitely used the neutral in the crease, but mainly the silvers, the blacks, the grays, and that silvery, shimmery kind of thing.
Right, so you get a cooler look.
Yeah, got a cool tone. She's got the warm tone going on. So, but I also think it's versatile for day and night. You can do the warm browns for a day natural look, and then you can throw on a little bit of black in the crease or a shimmery for nighttime. So, yeah, we did it up.
We did do it up, and so why don't you show which colors you use out of the palette?
Okay, I definitely started out with the Combust. I used that all over. I kind of build from the mattes and then go to the shimmer. So I used Combust and Password for the two mattes that I started with. Then I went on with the Dagger and then the Armor. So this was kind of my palette, and we'll get a close-up view of this for you at the end. But these were the two mattes and two shimmers, kind of building from there to create my look.
Very pretty. And I did more of the warmer tones. I too used Combust all over the lid, and then I used Radar, which is the shimmer. Doesn't swatch terribly well. And then Whiskey.
Oh yeah. See, I like that whiskey.
I love the whiskey. That is a real kind of chocolatey brown.
Oh yeah.
With just a hint of red in it. I see. It looks like matte color, and it's really, really pretty. And Black Market. And these were the colors that I used primarily in my look. And then I went in. Then I got like a wild hair and used Dirty Sweet.
Oh yeah.
Which is gold, like a really pretty, almost like an antique gold. This looks like the color of our spray painted ballet shoes and like a recital when we were like 6, but anyhow, I digress. But it's really pretty. It's called Dirty Sweet, and I used that just on the lid as like, you know, kind of a pop of color there. And then I used High, which is a brow bone highlight. Can't say it. An inner corner highlight. That is, you can see it kicks up.
Yes.
That's real.
I had some fallout.
Chunky.
I had some fallout, I think, with that Armor. So when you get over to more of the shimmery shades, I think that's where I get a little fallout.
Right, and you have to work with it. Tell me about how it blended for you.
Well, I definitely used a primer. I ended up using the Maybelline Tattoo Primer. Is that what it's called?
Color Tattoo.
Color Tattoos.
Yeah.
In a light shimmer shade. It's one of the lightest shades, and I just use it as a base. I think you used the actual Urban Decay Primer.
Right, one of the potion primers.
Potion primers.
Yeah.
I started with my primer, and then I started with the matte shades, building with a brush. And then when I went in with the shimmery shades, I actually used my fingers to dab the shimmer on the movable lid. I think the fingers worked really well for that little extra pop. I did try to get an eyeliner out of this.
Oh.
And I actually used it wet. I dipped an eyeliner brush. I first tried to do that black market, and it wasn't.
You weren't feeling it?
It didn't do it. There literally was no color payoff. I'm trying to get a complete look out of this for you. Normally I would reach for a pen or an ink liner, but I really wanted to stay with just the palette today. And so I had to switch over to that dagger.
Ah.
So I don't have a black liner on. It's more of the smoky gray liner, which
Yeah,
I think but it blends out okay.
I used a push brush also for under the eye, and I used a combination of whiskey and black market. I just, dabby, and then went under my eye. But I did, however, reach for a pencil to do my waterline, upper and lower, with the Tarte Skinny Smolder Eye, I think in Moonstone, but it'll be listed down below.
You can't really do a tight line.
A waterline or a tight line with a powder product.
shower.
I can't even do. But you definitely have to use a primer with it. I wore this out last Saturday night. I did a purple smoky. It was so pretty.
It was pretty.
And I didn't use a dedicated eyeshadow primer. I used like my concealer. You know how you do? You just like put your concealer on and kind of, for every day that'll work. But for these shadow, no, you need like a dedicated. It needs to be an eyeshadow primer.
You sent me a photo.
Yeah, I did.
Within
Like
about
4 hours in, and I had creases.
She was out on her date, went to the bathroom, snapped a selfie like we all do.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right.
It was creasing slightly, but I'm wondering if it was because it was just really shimmery. You used that purple smolder shimmer.
I used smolder.
So I'm wondering if you had based that with more of the, like the password in that matte shade and then build the shimmer on top.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. You kind of have to play with it. But I was having trouble blending today. And I was kind of fighting with it a little bit. I think the color payoff is really good with this palette. I think you do have to really kind of work with it. Definitely wear a primer. You definitely have to work with it. Blend.
Yeah.
And I forgot to say, speaking of blend, is that this palette comes with a dual-ended brush, which I actually like.
Good.
I don't really use this end too much, but I do use the fluffier end.
Yeah.
I do like that. I forgot to mention that.
Overall, I'd give it somewhere in the 8. I wouldn't say it was a 10. It's definitely not a flop, but I wouldn't say it's a 10 win-win. It's definitely an 8, something that you have to work with blending, which I think that you have to anyway with smokier looks.
Definitely.
I think that's
the key to a smoky look is the blending.
But you can get day, night. Yeah.
But I think a lot of people also are comparing all of the different the Naked palettes, and the only other one other than this that I have is the Naked 2 palette.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Which I feel is a more which I like very much, but I think it's more of a true Naked palette. I mean, this is Naked Smoky, but there ain't nothing naked about it. I mean, it's
there.
smoky, and I mean this to me is more of a date night, glamming it up, heavier eye look. I'm not sure I would reach for this on a daily basis. I work in an office and I do a very simplified look, but you probably do.
I would use this every day at the hair salon because I look like I'm going out all the time.
Right. She has hooker makeup on every day for work, but whatever.
But please tell them I'm not a hooker.
She's not a hooker, even though she pulls out wads of ones out of her purse when we go out. But anyway, so no, I think overall it's a really great palette, and I would recommend it. I think it's going to be fun, and I'm pretty sure we're going to fight over it.
Yeah,
so.
I think it's staying with me next.
Yeah, okay, we'll talk about that. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe, and details are in the description box below. Details are in the subscription... Details are in the description box below. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Doing it, phone doing it. All right.
Okay.
I actually ironed the shirt. It doesn't look like it, but I did. Excuse me.
All right, you need to come over to me a little bit.
I use a push liner and use a combination of whiskey and black market for under the eye. But I did use in my waterline the Tarte
Skinny Smolder?
Skinny Smolder. Excuse me. In the waterline, in like a chocolate brown color. But all the products used will be listed below. Hang on.
All right, get it together.
Okay.
Start with your waterline.
Okay.
Conversation.
I used a push brush